Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about some of my favorite characters in the Cosmere, specifically in Stormlight Archive. I want to kind of talk about, not my top five favorite characters, but probably like my top five favorite side characters. That'll probably be what this is called. So yeah, I kind of want to talk about characters that are not our main characters, that are not, the big plot driving characters. I want to talk about the interesting side characters in this video. So yeah, as always, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and if you want to support the channel in another way, the Patreon is in the description below. So yeah, let's begin. All right, so yeah, these characters are definitely like side characters. They are not very plot heavy. They don't move all the engines kind of characters. They're really just kind of that extra spice for something nice basically. And a lot of them kind of are in context of Way of Kings. Like I'm specifically talking about them as they exist in a Way of Kings, not any further development we got of these characters. So yeah, number five have to be Axis. I can't remember how you pronounce his name, but the collector, the guy who's a Sia, or what is he? He is a what Amian is he? He is a Sia Amian, Sia Amian. He's basically one of the blue skin people, and he is a very fascinating creature. He comes from one of the random interludes in Way of Kings, which is something that I really miss. I really wish Brandon would do more of those kind of random character interludes, the way in which Risen was kind of just a random interlude but became this huge other character. I would really like to get more of that back. Like the guy who was making the shoes and stuff. What happened to that stuff? I miss that stuff a lot. I hope we get some of it in Stormlight 5. But anyway, that's where we learned about this character. He's basically just going around and trying to categorize every type of Spren. He's just interesting. Like the way he just has like natural abilities for reasons we don't really understand. Like it doesn't. I don't know. I can speculate about their biology, whether or not they're descendant of human singer hybrids from before they were locked in their form. So therefore, their form changing ability turns into his ability to like make tattoos on his body and stuff like that. I don't know. Quite frankly, they're probably a different alien species. If Dawn Shard didn't confirm that, I can't remember. But anyway, I think this character was really, really interesting. I really like the idea of him trying to categorize all the Spren and stuff. I thought that was just really fascinating because I would really like to know about all the different Spren and stuff. So I have this Dragonology book that I got not long ago. Like this guy, it has so many like nuanced details and stuff about dragons and like just all kinds of various details about dragon species and different categories and everything. I would love a book like that about the Cosmere of just all the different types of Spren. That would be so cool. I would love that for that and for Chasm Fiends and basically all Shallan's natural history stuff. I just would really love a huge reference book of it because that would be so cool. And quite frankly, for every planet in the Cosmere, I'd probably want that. But yeah, so I really like Axes. I think he's a really interesting character, and the idea of going around categorizing all the Spren types, I think that's really, really fascinating. We know next to nothing about him except he has this thing. I can't remember what he calls it, but he basically makes reference to this condition that he has that it seems like it might be tied to fortune because it's essentially implied that he has persistent bad luck. Because anywhere he goes, he's just trying to look for Spren and stuff like that. But he always gets into little issues and stuff. Like when we meet him, he's basically just getting out of jail because he got arrested for some just kind of random stuff, like basically. So it seems like he kind of has this like pseudo curse or potential total curse on him that seems to work in such a way that we would just call it like bad luck. But I would imagine in terms of Cosmere, realmatics, that it's some sort of weird function of fortune or misfunction of fortune or something like that. We know nothing about it, but I am so curious about him. I'm curious about the other Amiens. Like we've been all over Roshar at this point. Like there's no other Amiens around apart from the ones that turned out to be not Kremlins, but the sleepless. Like what about the blue Amiens, or are the blue Amiens also them? I don't know. So yeah, maybe I'll figure it out upon the upcoming reread. I do maybe when I get into no, because it's not even maybe because I've only read Dawn Shard once, so maybe upon my reread of Dawn Shard, I'll get a little bit more information that I'm missing about him. But either way, that's the first character I want to talk about. That was long winded to say almost nothing. I'm sorry, but yes, Axie's the Collector. I think he's a lot of fun. I like that kind of character, and I really want those interludes back. So our next character I want to talk about is our next character I want to talk about is specifically Way of Kings. I already said it. Way of Kings era is Way of Kings era Teravangian. So I thought him in the first book was so interesting. I really like this idea of this king who essentially doesn't want to do anything except for help people. Like he just loves his. He basically just wants to be known for his hospitals and like anybody come to Carbranth to get healed and stuff. I just really like that idea. I thought it was so cool and such an altruistic kind of thing. And this idea that he's a king who's like mentally slow a little bit, like he's not as bright as most of the people around him, I thought was kind of really cool and endearing because I assumed it was all going to be set up for him to be like a reoccurring foil or kind of, and not really antagonist, but kind of more, yeah, I guess more of a foil to Yasna. I assumed that we were going to get more like philosophical, theological, religious based debates with him, even though he is completely outmatched. I thought it would be a fun little thing because she, of course, isn't going to go as hard on him as she could because she thinks he's slow witted and stuff. So she would just kind of be nice about a nice older man and all this kind of stuff. So I just thought that was setting up this reoccurring dynamic. I didn't really see where it was going, even though Teravangian continues to be an interesting character as you know he developed and everything. But I really liked Way of Kings time frame Teravangian. I thought it was very interesting. I thought his setup and his intro was just setting up for something totally different, and I was totally on board for it. But I do like what we ended up getting. But yeah, that era of Teravangian I thought was just really cool. Oh, next, Teft. So Teft is kind of a side character, kind of closer to main character era or whatever. But I really like his character because I like a gruff kind of mentor character. I think this one really this Teft that I'm talking about, the era of Teft is really more of a Words of Radiance Teft, where he really kind of leans into his gruff mentor kind of thing, his old wizened soldier kind of thing. Like I really like that idea, that type of mentor for Kaladin and stuff. He just kind of, you know, the kind of person that's been there and seen it all, done it all kind of thing. And but he still has so much he's dealing with and stuff. So when you get into like the addiction and stuff later on, it just kind of worked. And his character is just like lovable in that kind of you just cursed me out, but I appreciate it kind of way. Like I don't know, I really liked his character. I like that kind of trope of a character who's just like this gruff commander guy who no longer wants to do any of that, but is going to anyway because it's so inherent to who he is. So I just thought that was just a fun dynamic of a character, and I'm really glad that we got him. Yeah, Teft, such a good character. Next up, okay, so this other character, he has been around for quite a while. He pops around often, pretty much in everything. So I can't really separate him in specific eras exactly the way I do with the other characters. So it's probably obvious. This is Wit. Hoyd, but it's Wit specifically. Wit in the early books, like just the way in which we knew like next to nothing about him, but he was going like his level of sarcasm specifically, like the way he was getting at Amaram and he would get at Elcar and stuff, just the lines, oh my god, he is so good. Like just so much fun. This character that has almost no consequences around him, completely immune to consequences, knows everything but will tell you nothing. Like he's just so much fun of a character. I love it so much. I'm a little disappointed where we got him in book 4, but still a great character. Lots of fun, very interesting, and I definitely want to kind of talk more about him later in a other video if that doesn't come out before this video. So yeah, yeah, but Hoyd slash Wit, I like him so much because the way in which he just goes around helping characters is so cool. But he goes around and confounds other people and stuff. Like he does it all. He's just great. He's just so much fun to watch. All right, so that's my fourth one, and I only want to kind of drop 5 names in this video. And my last one, number 5, in no particular order, has to be Lyft. So I think Lyft is like one of the best characters Brandon has ever written, to the point where there is a theory about Lyft that I am now a fan of. Like I just read about it on Facebook, and I actually like at first I dismissed it completely out of hand. I'm like, what do you mean? Like what? That doesn't make any sense. But then when you think about it, I'm like, oh, that kind of fits. Like it's kind of crazy. But I really like Lyft and what was it? Edge Dancer. So Edge Dancer to me kind of came off as an extension of those chapters she had when she was hanging out with I can't remember the kid's name, but the kid who becomes the monarch of Thelena? No, not Thelena. You know, the very studious people, those people who you got to write an essay to try to become king and stuff. So when she was hanging out with them doing that first breaking into the palace and everything, like I already liked her then, but then we got more information on her in the background and stuff, and just the nature of like the connection to her parents and stuff as why she doesn't want to grow up because when she lost her mom and stuff, just she's an incredibly sympathetic character, but so fun and has so much natural talent and just ability. Like the literal only word to describe Lyft is awesome. So it's just so well done. I just like her so much. I am so interested to see where she goes. I think she's like a burst of absolute light. She's just like this great character. I love her so much. But I don't really care for how she. I mean, I love parts of how she was used in Rhythm of War, but the fact that she was only used just like a little bit is very disappointing because I'm like, she's like a secret weapon. Like we barely get to make use of her at all. It's clear that she's going to be a huge big piece for the back five, and I am like so excited for that. Like I think Lyft was just a lot of fun. She's like an innocent character who is just mischievous in all the best ways, who like has all the street smarts with no interest in any of the like other smarts. Like, and I love the fact that she's an edge dancer who is supposed to be like this hyper refined kind of, you know, the reputation around that order is that they're very refined and elegant and fancy and stuff, and she's like, nope, I'm gonna steal your lunch. I love me some pancakes. I'm running around with no socks or shoes on and stuff. I just love it so much. I love a subversion kind of character like that, and she's just so much fun. I love her to death. She's awesome. So yeah, I want to go ahead and wrap this up and say, let me know in the comments down below, who are some of your favorite characters who don't get so much spotlight, who are more side characters? Let me know about that in the comments down below. I'd love to hear which ones are your favorite. So as always, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and if you'd like to support the channel in another way, you can check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. So I will talk to y'all next time. Peace.